Today on October 17th, you asked for a sign. Is it? What you choose in the next 5 minutes will decide what happens next. October 17th, a day heaven marked long before you woke. Long before your eyes opened to the weight of this moment, the heavens had already gathered. Angelic scribes took note. A line was drawn across your timeline. Not with chaos, not with confusion, but with clarity. For today is not just another date on a calendar. It is a summoning. It is a call from eternity into time. It is the moment you felt something shift but couldn't explain it. Yes, October 17th is not a coincidence. It is covenant. It is confirmation. In the stillness of your heart, where no one heard but God, you whispered a question. Maybe it wasn't even out loud. Maybe it came in the form of weariness. A tear on your pillow. A silent, aching God, if you're still with me, show me. And heaven leaned in. The earth did not shake, but your spirit did. The clock did not stop, but eternity paused for you. You asked for a sign, and heaven answered. Something in you knew this day would not be ordinary. Something in your soul ached for confirmation. And now here it is, through words not crafted by human minds, but delivered through divine timing. And yet, this message is not for everyone. It is not general. It is surgical. It is specific. It is appointed for the one who asked, the one who cried inwardly, the one who has been on the edge of surrender, yet still standing. You must understand, this isn't random. This is a response. This is a moment where heaven intercepts your next move. But before you decide, before you speak, react, or even doubt, you must pause. There is something sacred in this stillness, something holy in this hush. God is watching. The Spirit is hovering. The archangel stands in witness, sword drawn, shield lifted. Because in these next 5 minutes, yes, these next 5, destinies are bending. Choices are opening dimensions. Delays are being unlocked, where doors are being shut. Time is compressed. The eternal is speaking into the temporary. Heaven rarely speaks twice, and this is your moment. Type "I receive" in the comments if this word found you. Blessing code 1710 has been released into your atmosphere. Listen. Your spirit already feels it. That stirring, that pressure, that unshakable sense that something divine is being spoken over your life, right now. You may be watching this with tired eyes or a distracted heart, but your spirit is fully awake. Your spirit knows that this is not just another video, not just another voice. This is the moment the veil lifts and destiny steps forward. Listen. Do not scroll. Do not silence this. Do not explain it away. You asked for a sign, and the sign has now asked for you. I speak not in my own name, but by the authority of the one seated on the throne. The Lord of hosts has sent his voice through the veil to reach you. The Holy Spirit surrounds this message. The breath of God hovers now, ready to divide between your fear and your faith. And I, the archangel assigned to war over your destiny, have come to announce that the heavens are counting down. 5 minutes. Not in natural time, but in spiritual acceleration. In these next 5 minutes, you will be given the divine power to either unlock the next chapter or delay it. Yes, the countdown has already begun. There is a vibration in the atmosphere, a rumble in the spirit. Something holy is moving. A heavenly interruption has invaded your ordinary rhythm. What seemed like a casual moment is actually a cosmic collision. Your future and your faith are meeting at this intersection. The angels assigned to your purpose have been waiting for this very moment, because your obedience has a timestamp, and the window is now open. This message is not for everyone. It was never meant to be. This word is reserved, exclusive, sacred, hidden in plain sight, but revealed only to the one who cried out, to the one who said, "God, I need to know if you still see me." You are not lost in the crowd. You are not ignored. You are being singled out by heaven itself. Your question reached the courts of heaven, and a response has been dispatched. Can you feel it now? The pressure isn't fear, it's glory breaking in. The weight isn't anxiety, it's the hand of God resting upon your decision. Right now, you stand on sacred ground. You may be in a car, a room, or a hallway, but the space around you has been filled with divine light. That's why your heart feels like it's racing. That's why your skin tingles. That's why your thoughts are trying to catch up with what your spirit already knows. Heaven has interrupted time for you, and when heaven interrupts time, something sacred unfolds. Time is bending. Realities are aligning. And you must understand, what you decide in this divine pause will either unlock the next chapter or delay it. Not forever, but long enough to miss the wave that was created for you. Heaven has aligned this moment, but alignment still requires your response. This is not entertainment. This is not emotion. This is eternal. This is the moment that separates the watchers from the walkers, those who simply wonder, and those who step into what was written. Listen to the pull. Lean into the discomfort. Let the weight of heaven rest on you now. 5 minutes. That is all you have. Not to rush, but to respond. Not to panic, but to choose. What you choose now will echo into your future. Will you stay in delay, or will you step into divine flow? Will you hesitate, or will you surrender? Will you ignore the call, or will you answer heaven's announcement? Because heaven is watching, and the clock is still ticking. Type "I choose obedience" if your spirit heard this loud. Blessing code 1017 has been activated over your decision. You felt it for weeks, maybe even months. The strange silence, the sleepless nights, a disconnection that no amount of distractions could drown out. There were moments when everything around you looked normal, yet inside, it felt like something was cracking, like something was moving just beneath the surface of your awareness. You've been seeing numbers, repeating patterns, coincidences too precise to ignore, and every time, your spirit whispered, something is shifting. Something is coming. You weren't wrong. The stillness before the storm has been lingering. Not the kind of storm that brings destruction, but the kind that brings truth. There's been a pressure in the atmosphere, invisible to others, but undeniable to you. And that's because you're not just living through a season. You're living through a divine exposure. Something has been speaking about you behind your back, but what they didn't know is that heaven has been listening in. Yes, they've been speaking your name in rooms your feet haven't entered, plotting what they cannot control, whispering what they do not understand. But you felt it. You sensed it. Even when you tried to talk yourself out of it, even when you prayed, "Maybe I'm just overthinking," your discernment wouldn't let you rest. And that was not paranoia. That was prophetic perception. You were never being dramatic. You were being alerted. And now, the divine disruption has begun. The unraveling. The great revealing. The silence is being broken, not just around you, but within you. God is pulling back the curtain. The Spirit is stirring the deep. Archangel watchers have been positioned around your life, And they are not just observing, they are recording. They heard what you haven't. They've seen the manipulation, the betrayal, the spiritual sabotage that tried to move around your calling. There's a reason your emotions have felt intertwined, peace and warfare at the same time. You weren't crazy. You were in the middle of a divine diagnosis. Heaven was showing you what flesh could not comprehend. And while others laughed, dismissed, or even weaponized your silence, you held your ground. Even when your soul ached with confusion, you stayed. That alone has spoken volumes in the heavens. That alone marked you as one who is set apart. But now comes the moment of disruption. You're about to see what's been hidden. You're about to know what's been whispered. The very ones who tried to delay your assignment will watch as heaven accelerates it. Because yes, they knew part of your story, but they never knew your assignment. They knew the former you, the broken you, the doubting you, but they never met the anointed you, the called you, the sealed you, and the God who heard what they said has already moved. Divine justice is not a theory. It's in motion. You may not see the full picture yet, but trust this. Heaven does not ignore dishonor toward the chosen. The scales are tipping. The script is flipping. What was hidden in the dark is now being revealed under divine light. And you will not need to defend yourself, because God is already doing it for you. So breathe. Still your heart. You are not in the dark. You are in divine transition. What you're feeling is heaven rearranging the narrative. And yes, it may be uncomfortable, even painful, but do not mistake emotional disturbance for divine absence. You are being repositioned, realigned, and everything that was spoken against you in secret is now being reversed in spirit. Justice has already begun. Top heaven heard them if this part of the word was for you. Blessing code 3355 is covering your name. And if this word has stirred your spirit, if you know this message isn't just a video but a divine interruption, then I invite you to partner with this mission. This platform isn't about growing numbers. It's about saving souls. Every super thanks, membership, or PayPal gift fuels the reach of heaven's voice to someone else crying out just like you did. God said in Malachi, "Bring the whole tithe and see if I will not open the windows of heaven." That promise isn't distant. It's alive right now. I feel led to tell you, your giving is not charity, it's prophetic alignment. It's how oil flows from this word into the hands of the next one searching. I didn't plan to say this, but I know someone is feeling the nudge. The harvest will match the seed. The link to sow via PayPal is in the description below. Respond to heaven's nudge. Step into divine participation. Bless what blesses you, and watch what heaven unlocks. What if I told you the pressure you've been feeling wasn't punishment, but prophecy? What if the warfare surrounding you, the confusion in your mind, the moments where everything felt delayed and uncertain, were not signs of failure but evidence of calling? Listen carefully now, because this part may offend your logic, but it will awaken your spirit. The storm didn't come to destroy you. It came to announce you. You see, the enemy doesn't wage war against the empty. He doesn't fight what doesn't threaten him. He doesn't chase the one without assignment. So yes, the conflict have been loud, unrelenting, and exhausting, but only because you are dangerous in the spirit. The moment you began to align with your true identity, the moment your prayers started breaking cycles, and your obedience began to shift atmospheres, the kingdom of darkness took notice. And it didn't whisper back. It came for you. But let this truth break every lie you've believed. Pressure is not proof that God left. It's proof that purpose is near. You've been walking through a test disguised as chaos. You've been navigating warfare that didn't start on earth. It started in the heavens. A tug-of-war for your future. A battle over your voice, your calling, your influence. And every delay wasn't a denial. Every rejection wasn't abandonment. It was heaven's hand shielding what wasn't ready to carry your weight. The isolation. It wasn't abandonment. It was consecration. A betrayal. That wasn't cruelty. It was clarity. The silence. That wasn't God ignoring you. It was God watching you. Because sometimes the loudest proof of your growth is when heaven goes silent, not to leave you, but to see if you'll move from emotion or from instruction. And you, yes you, passed more tests than you'd even knew you were taking. When they left, when it all slowed down, when your name was no longer celebrated but slandered, you didn't collapse. You didn't retreat. You kept walking, even when your steps were soaked in tears. You kept believing, even when hope felt like sand slipping through your fingers. And that, beloved, is what heaven recorded. Heaven recorded the nights you cried but didn't curse. The days you were silent when your flesh wanted to retaliate. Every tear, every groan, every unspoken surrender was not forgotten. The truth is, your silence became your weapon. The enemy expected noise, chaos, retaliation, but you gave stillness. And in the stillness, God fortified you. In the quiet, God armed you. You weren't being ignored. You were being equipped. You were not being passed over. You were being prepared. Because what's ahead of you requires spiritual stamina. It requires a forged character. And only fire can forge steel. You've been in the fire, not because God wanted to burn you, but because He wanted to brand you. To seal you. To mark you as something the world cannot replicate and hell cannot counterfeit. You're not walking through warfare because you're weak. You're walking through it because you're a weapon. So don't mislabel your season. Don't curse what God is using. The shaking, the silence, the storm, it was all divine strategy. And yes, you're tired. Yes, you've wondered if God still sees. But let this voice remind you, He sees everything. He's seen it all. And He's been writing a record. The watchers have not just watched, they've written. Your choices, your posture, your refusal to bow to bitterness, it has all been recorded. And now the tests are turning into testimony. The conflict is becoming confirmation. And what once felt like chaos is now the very confirmation that you are chosen. Your reaction has shaped your release. And heaven is not confused. Heaven is prepared. Because so are you. Type, I'm not being punished. I'm being positioned. Lesson code 4411 is resting upon you now. Hear this now, and hear it with the weight it deserves. You are standing on the edge of exposure. The unseen is about to become seen. The quiet is about to be broken. And the Spirit of God is issuing a final instruction before the unraveling begins. For within the next 72 hours, the atmosphere around you will shift. What has been building in silence is now reaching the surface. This is not imagination. This is not anxiety. This is a prophetic announcement, a holy foreshadowing, a divine alarm sounding in your soul. Someone is preparing to speak. Someone is being stirred to act. Someone is about to show you what their silence was hiding. And no, you won't have to force it. You won't have to dig for it. It will find you. The revelation will come, in a message, in a sudden confrontation, in a dream, in a divine encounter that interrupts your normal. Do not be caught off guard. This is not an attack. It is an unveiling. God is about to lift the cover. The spiritual realm has been moving while you've been still. Heaven's counsel has been convening while you've been praying. And the warfare you felt in your body, in your relationships, in your emotions, it was never aimless. It was evidence that a line was being drawn. And now, the line is being crossed. It is time. Heaven is activating exposure, release, and justice, but only for those who obey. You must understand this with clarity. The weight you feel right now is not fear. It is heaven pressing on your yes. It is the tension of concision, a stretch before the shift. You are in the woo of destiny, and what you carry cannot stay hidden. But hear this closely. The pressure will not lift until you respond. The alignment of the next 3 days is tied directly to your obedience in this very moment. This word is not passive. It is not poetic. It is prophetic. There is a confrontation on the calendar of heaven. Someone who spoke against you is about to speak to you. A hidden motive is about to be revealed. A strategy in the spirit is about to be exposed. It may come through a slip of the tongue, a digital message, or a supernatural confirmation, but either way, you will know. This is what your spirit has been feeling. The tremors before the shaking. The signs before the split. But this warning isn't given to scare you. It is given to prepare you. Heaven gives advance notice to those it trusts. And you have been trusted. Trusted to carry what others dropped. Trusted to remain silent when others spoke. Trusted to walk alone when others ran in packs. That's why this word is finding you now. Not a second too late. Not a second too early. The divine timeline is unfolding exactly as it must. And yet, the outcome is not guaranteed. It still hinges on your surrender. What you speak next, or what you withhold, will shape the manifestation. God is watching for your posture. Will you retaliate, or will you release it to Him? Will you force the outcome, or will you follow the Spirit? Will you respond from pain, or will you wait for power? Because the next sound you release, whether silence or surrender, determines what comes next. This is the edge. This is the pivot point. Heaven is ready. But are you? Type I will obey before I understand. Blessing code 7722 is releasing divine strategy into your path. Be still. That's not just a suggestion. It is your shield. It is your sword. It is your divine instruction for this moment. Because when heaven begins to move, when the ground beneath starts to shift, when the revealing begins and truth starts to surface, the most powerful position is not reaction. It is restraint. The Spirit of God is not calling you to explain yourself. He is not asking you to fight in the flesh. He is commanding you to stand still and watch Him war for you. You've carried the weight. You've carried the betrayal, the confusion, the silence of others who should have defended you, the false accusations, the spiritual backlash. But now you are not being asked to carry it anymore. You are being instructed to withdraw. Not in weakness, but in wisdom. Not in fear, but in focus. This is not the time to prove who you are. This is the time to remember whose you are. And the one who called you will not leave your name unguarded. Heaven is not silent because it's unaware. Heaven is silent because it is strategic. You are not alone. You are hidden. Hidden in the cleft of the rock. Hidden beneath angelic wings. Hidden from what was meant to destroy you. And now, the Lord says, do not move until I give the signal. This is not the time to vent, to post, to clap back, to expose. This is the time to listen. This is the time to observe. This is the time to watch what I do next, says the Lord. Your silence has become your sanctuary. Your quietness is your weapon. For what is forming against you cannot find you, because you are under divine concealment. There are angels guarding your name. There are forces surrounding your house. There are heavenly watchers blocking access to your destiny from anything unauthorized. You are not vulnerable. You are sealed. You are not defenseless. You are divinely positioned. You are not being punished. You are being protected from things you cannot yet see. Do not confuse stillness with stagnation. You are not stuck. You are stationed. Like a soldier who waits for the trumpet, you are waiting for divine instruction. The next move is not yours to create. It is yours to receive. That's why the enemy wants your reaction. He knows if he can make you move prematurely, he can disconnect you from the wave God is about to send. But you will not move without heaven's voice. You will not act without heaven's hand. This is the season where prayer is your strategy. Discernment is your protection. Your yes is still required, but your striving is not. Stop trying to be understood by those not assigned to your next. Stop trying to open doors that God already closed to protect you. Stop explaining what God is about to reveal by himself. He will speak when it's time. Until then, you stay hidden in him. You are covered. You are guided. You are shielded. What seemed like silence was actually strategy. What looked like delay was actually divine hiding. Your quiet is your armor. Your restraint is your release. And your obedience, not your emotions, will lead you straight into victory. This moment is sacred. You're not losing time. You're gaining heaven's defense. Type I am hidden for a reason. Blessing code 2244 is wrapping you in divine protection. You have felt the breaking. You have felt the crushing. You have walked through seasons where everything familiar was stripped away, and yet you are still standing. That alone is proof of transformation. The old you could not have endured this. The old you would have crumbled beneath the weight of what you've carried. But the fire that once terrified you has purified you. You have been through the furnace, and what emerged is not the same person who entered it. The shaking was never to destroy you, it was to distinguish you. Heaven is not rebuilding who you were. It is revealing who you've become. Listen carefully now. You are no longer who they remember. The version of you that begged for understanding, that sought validation, that chased peace in the wrong places, that version is gone. What walks forward from this point carries a new authority. The fire did its work. It burned away dependence. It burned away distraction. It burned away fear. And what remains is refined like gold. You were not being punished in that fire. You were being forged into something unshakable. What the enemy thought would end you has instead elevated you. The archangel stands beside you now, not to shield you from flames, but to show you how to walk in them without being consumed. You have become a living testimony of divine endurance. Heaven has witnessed your transformation. Where once there was hesitation, now there is holy confidence. Where once there was timidity, now there is the sound of thunder in your spirit. You have learned to war with worship, to conquer through surrender, and to see delay not as denial but as divine discipline shaping destiny. Every trial, every heartbreak, every betrayal, none of it was wasted. Each tear watered the ground of your new beginning. Each loss refined the oil of your anointing. Each moment of silence sharpened your discernment. You are no longer fragile clay. You are a vessel sealed with glory. You carry something rare, something costly, and that is why heaven guarded you so fiercely. The very moments you called isolation were actually impartation. In the silence, God gave you new sight. In the storm, He gave you new strength. Now hear this clearly. You are rising, not as the broken one, but as the crowned one. You are stepping into the fulfillment of promises that once felt distant. You will walk into rooms that your pain prepared you for. The same voices that once doubted you will witness what obedience births. You carry heaven's mark now, invisible to men, but unmistakable in the spirit. When you speak, atmospheres will shift. When you pray, resistance will bow. When you move, divine order will follow. Do not fear this new identity. Step into it boldly. The season of being shaped is giving way to the season of being sent. You are heaven's response to problems on earth. You are no longer waiting for validation. You are walking in verification. The test has already proven your faith. The battle has already qualified your authority. The fire did not just change you, it commissioned you. So rise now. Stand tall. The wings of your spirit are ready. You have permission to soar above what used to hold you. This is not the end of your breaking. It is the beginning of your becoming. You carry the light of those who refuse to quit. And heaven declares over you, you are ready. You are released. You are reborn. You have passed the test that others thought would destroy you. You walk now not as the wounded but as the weapon. You are the evidence that the fire refines, that the delay transforms, that obedience resurrects destiny. The mark of heaven rests on you. Move differently, speak differently, believe differently. For this is your hour of divine empowerment. Type I have risen from the fire. Blessing code 5588 is sealing your transformation with strength. This was never about what you lost. This was never about who left, what broke, or what was denied. It was never about the delay, the disappointment, or even the depth of the pain. Heaven was not tormenting you. It was protecting you. The losses were not meant to wound you. They were meant to wean you. To wean you off dependency on the flesh. To pull you out of false attachments. To awaken the divine within you. And now, at last, the revelation comes. This was never about loss. It was always about unlocking. You see, while you mourned what you thought was taken from you, heaven was rejoicing over what was being preserved for you. The thing you cried for wasn't a denial. It was a delay wrapped in divine strategy. The people who walked away weren't rejection. They were redirection. Because what was coming next would require more strength, more clarity, and more purity than what your old circle could sustain. God had to clear the space before He could pour the oil. Hear this. Heaven hid you. Not because you were forgotten, but because you were too important to be exposed too soon. Had your name been elevated before your character was ready, the weight of the platform would have crushed the purpose. So instead of launching you into the spotlight, God whispered your name into hidden chambers, where angels could cover you, where the Spirit could sanctify you, and where the enemy could not find you. You were not being delayed. You were being developed. And now the revelation unfolds like a scroll. Every no was a setup for the one yes that mattered. Every door that slammed shut was God's hand saying, "That is not the place I designed for you." You wanted access, but heaven wanted alignment. And now, at the intersection of obedience and timing, the lock turns. The vault opens. The assignment is activated. Your name has been whispered in divine chambers. Did you hear that? Not in the boardroom. Not in the gossip circle. In the throne room. The place where assignments are issued. the place where mantles are measured, the place where the King speaks and all creation responds. That is where your name was spoken. That is where your next was announced. And what's coming to you now isn't compensation, it's confirmation. You are walking into what has always been yours. Yes, the pain was real. Yes, the warfare was intense. But now you see, it all had purpose. Every tear was an offering. Every battle was a rehearsal. Every loss was a holy filter, stripping away what couldn't carry the weight of your next. Because the elevation you're about to experience requires clean hands and a consecrated heart. And that's exactly what the wilderness gave you. This is your moment of divine release. Favor is being unlocked. Heaven's spotlight is being turned toward your name. And not for applause, for assignment. You are not being elevated just to be seen. You are being elevated to reveal Him. What once felt like delay has now become divine evidence that you were called, kept, and covered. Heaven has made its decision, and what was hidden is now being revealed. This was never loss. IT was locked for me. Blessing code 6660 is releasing divine clarity over your season. And if this revelation is stirring something in your spirit, if you feel the weight of what heaven is confirming, then I ask you to move with that same spirit of obedience. Every seed you sow into this word is not for me. It's for the next soul that needs this moment. You are not giving to a channel. You are sowing into a mantle. You are becoming a part of heaven's distribution system. God said, "Give, and it shall be given unto you." And right now, there's oil flowing from this altar. And when you pour into it, something supernatural begins to move on your behalf. This is a prophetic transaction, not a passive gesture. You can support through super thanks, join us through membership, or release a seed through PayPal. The link is in the video description. I didn't speak this. Heaven did. And those who sow into heaven's word will reap heaven's reward. Respond. Release. Activate. Watch what God does next. You waited. You wept. You've watched others pass you by, wondering if the promise over your life had somehow expired. You've stared at closed doors long enough. You've replayed conversations that wounded, losses that humbled, and prayers that seemed to vanish into silence. But today, heaven stands before you and declares without hesitation, this is your moment of activation. This is the moment where destiny will not wait any longer. This is where obedience unlocks the next chapter. And what you do in this window will determine the next wave that meets your life. Listen closely. Heaven is not confused. God is not uncertain. The Spirit is not stalling. What is pending is you. Because destiny does not respond to emotion. Destiny does not respond to desperation. Destiny only responds to obedience. It does not care how long you've cried or how broken you felt. It moves the moment you do. The moment you say yes. The moment you step. The moment you shift. This is not about your worthiness. It's about your willingness. You may not feel ready. You may still feel fragile. But readiness was never the requirement, surrender was. Heaven isn't looking for the most prepared. Heaven is looking for the most yielded. Your next move isn't about feeling powerful. It's about being available. Because God does not anoint arrogance. He anoints the ones who say, "Here I am. I don't understand it all, but I'm still saying yes." Speak now. Declare what heaven has already written about you. You've been carrying the word in your belly. It's time to birth it. You've been walking around the mountain. It's time to climb it. You've been circling the promise. It's time to possess it. No more delay. No more excuses. No more waiting on signs when heaven already gave the signal. Heaven is waiting on your mouth. There are declarations you must make, assignments you must accept, words you must cancel, and covenants you must speak. There are doors that won't open until your sound fills the atmosphere. Speak as if you know the earth is listening, because it is. The word says, life and death are in the power of the tongue. And right now, life is trying to rise from your silence. Break the silence. Shake the air. And shift your world. But make no mistake, the next 5 minutes are not just emotional. They are eternal. They are not casual. They are covenant. What you decide in this divine pause will echo in every future room God sends you into. Will you walk in the fullness of your assignment, or will you stand on the edge of it, paralyzed by fear? This moment is where the difference is made. This is the separation point between those who watch the wave and those who ride it. Say yes, even if your voice shakes. Move even if your feet feel heavy. Obey, even if you're still healing. Because your act of obedience will awaken what hath been sleeping inside you. And once you step forward, the earth will recognize your voice. The realm of the Spirit will make room for your presence. Doors will know your name. All will find your head, and favor will chase you down. The decision is yours, but the door is already open. It will not remain open forever. Obedience is not a suggestion. It is your bridge. It is your key. It is your unlocking. Type I activate my destiny now. Blessing code 9191 is opening gates before your obedience. While you've been pacing floors and wiping tears from your face, something has been happening that you could not see. While your soul has been crying for closure, for confirmation, for clarity, heaven has been recording every moment, every breath, every battle. And what you didn't know is this: the silence you felt has not been a void. It has been a negotiation. There are moments in your life when heaven moves without announcing it. Moments where angels are dispatched, not with swords, but with scrolls, carrying your name, your assignment, your tears. These are the moments when God speaks without sound and moves without motion. This is one of those moments. You are in the middle of a silent exchange in the spirit realm, and everything is about to change, not because you fought harder, but because you obeyed quietly. You see, while you were wondering if God forgot you, the courtrooms of heaven were in session. The enemy had accusations, but your obedience testified louder. The adversary pointed to your weakness, but the Father pointed to your faithfulness. What Satan tried to steal in secret is being returned in silence. And you won't even have to fight for it, because heaven already settled it. There's an invisible scale being tipped in your favor. The battle has shifted. You didn't see the moment it turned, because it didn't happen in your timeline. It happened in God's. And the reason your soul has felt restless, the reason you've been waking up at strange hours, sensing things you can't explain, is because your spirit sensed the shift before your mind could understand it. While others were making noise, you chose silence. While others ran for validation, you waited for vindication. And because of that, your name is now echoing in spiritual places. What was once held back is being handed over. What was once stolen is being supernaturally replaced. This is not imagination. This is kingdom exchange. You are not begging for scraps anymore. You are standing under an open heaven, and the hand of the Lord is extending to you things you thought were lost for good. Ideas, opportunities, Canadians, favor, vision, resources. They are returning, but better. not in the form you lost them, but in the form heaven intended them to be. And you must understand, this exchange wasn't made public because it wasn't for the public. It was for the chosen. You, the one who didn't curse God in the fire, the one who didn't give up in the silence, the one who asked for a sign and stayed when it didn't come right away. This is your sign. Not because it's loud, but because it's true. God has settled your case. The scroll has been sealed. The verdict is written. And restoration is not pending. It's processing. You will see it. You will hold it. But not because you demanded it, because you endured for it. Your angels on assignment now. They are not bringing warning. They are bringing what's yours. There are shifts that already started before this message ever reached your ears. And the proof will begin to show itself in whispers, in sudden clarity, in moments where peace floods you for no natural reason. That's how you will know the exchange was successful. Your account in the Spirit is full again. Your ledger is marked, redeemed, repositioned, restored. Type the exchange is complete. Blessing code 7373 is confirming the divine reversal already at work in your life. You've been quiet for too long. You've taken the hits, absorbed the false stories, endured the abandonment, the slander, the subtle betrayals that never made noise, but broke you nonetheless. And now, the Lord says, enough. The gavel has come down in the spirit realm. Justice is not coming. Justice has begun. Not in the form of vengeance, not in the form of revenge, but in the form of divine reversal so strategic, so precise, so holy that only God could write the script. They thought they got away with it. The ones who lied, the ones who manipulated, the ones who used their access to your life as a weapon against your purpose. They forgot that heaven was listening, that angels were recording, that the one who formed you also fights for you. And now, every hidden conversation, every strategic betrayal, every weapon fashioned in silence is being pulled into the light. You will not have to expose it. Heaven will. And the Lord says this: what they did will return to them tenfold. Not because you demanded it, but because my throne demands justice. God does not ignore humility. He does not abandon the faithful. And your silence, that heavy, sacred silence, has testified louder than any defense you could have offered. You didn't retaliate. You didn't strike back. And because of that, God is about to show what He does for those who wait on Him. Watch closely. Divine reversal does not always come loud. Sometimes it looks like tables turning in slow motion. Sudden promotions, unexplained favor, unanticipated invitations, peace that confuses your enemies. These are the signs. These are the echoes of heaven's justice moving. You will walk into rooms they tried to keep you out of. You will be honored in places where your name was once misused. And the irony, you will even have to try. Your posture has already prepared the platform. Yes, there were nights when you begged God for closure. But now heaven is giving you something better. Completion. A full circle moment. The silent return of what was stolen. The quiet collapse of false alliances. The reintroduction of your name, not as the victim, but as the vindicated. Heaven is of your God. And now, it's moving on your behalf in ways that cannot be stopped. You will not have to force it. You will not have to convince anyone. God is already breathing on the records, writing the narrative, restoring what should have been yours all along. And yes, there will be those who regret how they handled you. Not because you've changed, but because God is showing who He placed His hand upon all along. Let the reversal begin. Let the scales of justice tip, not in violence but in vindication, not through public battles, but through divine reward. Your tears were seeds. Your patience was warfare. And now the harvest is here, one reversal at a time. Watch as reputations crumble and yours is rebuilt without your hands touching a thing. Watch as those who misunderstood your silence come to respect your authority. Watch as the same places that shut you out begin to call you in. Because justice is not a future event. Justice is happening now. Top Heaven is avenging me. Blessing Code 8080 is issuing a divine verdict over your life. This was a sign you asked for, not a random coincidence. My fleeting thought. This was a response heaven had written long before your voice ever whispered, God, if you still see me, show me. And now, the heavens echo back, I see you. I heard you. I chose you. October 17th was never just another date. It was the day destiny called your name again. Every section of this word was not entertainment. It was encounter. Every line, every shift in your spirit, every tear you felt rising as you listened, that was the confirmation. You are not crazy. You are not lost. You are not behind. You are exactly where God needed you to be to hear this now. And what happens next is not based on chance. It is based on your response. You've been asking for direction. Heaven says, this is the compass. You've been begging for release. Heaven replies, this is the key. You've been feeling the tension in your chest, the strange calm before the storm, the anticipation that something is about to break, and you were right. It is not just a feeling. It is spiritual truth. Something is about to break, but not you, not your mind, not your future. What breaks is the wall. What breaks is the delay. What breaks is the silence. You are not walking out of this message the same. You are walking out marked, affirmed, protected, repaired. And no, you may not have all the answers yet, but you now carry something deeper than answers. You carry revelation. You carry divine instruction. You carry peace, the kind that doesn't make sense to the world but makes everything clear in the spirit. So here is your blessing. May your next step be guided by divine clarity. May your silence be your weapon, and your obedience your covering. May the path ahead of you be lit with fire, and may every shadow be swallowed by the light of God's glory. You are not alone. You are not vulnerable. You are not behind schedule. You are sealed, seen, and sent. And I declare this over your life, now. Heaven is with you. The angels are dispatched. A spirit is stirred, and the next 5 minutes still hold the seed of your miracle. What you do with this word determines what opens next. But know this, heaven rarely speaks twice. You've heard. You felt. Now it's time to act. Rise. Walk differently. Move in silence. Love in power. Speak when commanded. And above all, trust that you were born for such a time as this. You are no longer just surviving. You are standing inside of the supernatural. This is your sign. Type I receive my final confirmation. Blessing Code 1212 has sealed this prophetic word over your life. If this word has moved you, if you feel the oil on it, the breath of God in it, I invite you to partner with it. You're not just giving to a ministry. You're sowing into the miracle you just heard. This message will reach someone else crying out for the very sign you asked for. And your giving becomes the bridge. Your generosity becomes the vessel. Deuteronomy says, He will bless all the work of your hands. Right now, your giving is not just support. It's spiritual warfare. It's kingdom alignment. It's saying, God, use me to carry the next word to the next heart. You can give through Super Thanks, become a channel member, or sow through PayPal. The link is in the video description. Let heaven remember your seed. Let this moment not just be a word. Let it be your offering of obedience. Now go and walk in the full weight of this confirmation.